Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Shabtam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravan Kirtanaha Hridayaktasto Bhadrani Vidunoti Suhasatam Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So today we will be covering Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 8th canto, chapter 8, the Churning of the Milk Ocean. So in the previous class we covered chapter 7 of the 8th canto. Lord Shiva saves the universe by drinking poison. And that's a very significant lesson, because in that particular chapter we also heard as how, when he drank poison, he actually contained within his throat. And so, because of the effect of the poison, there was a blue line that appeared, and that's why Lord Shiva also got a new name. So the name was Nilkantha, one whose neck is bluish. And of course, when we look at that blue color, we always reminded of Krishna, because he is, the Ambuda, so the clouds, the rainy clouds, colors, bluish. And here, Śrīmad Goswami, he continued further on the churning of the milk ocean. So we'll cover the very first verse. Shishaka Uvacha Pite Gare Vishankena Pritaste Amaradhanavaha Mamanthustarasa Siddhum Havirdhani Tato Bhavat. Shishaka Uvacha Pite Gare Vishankena Pritaste Amaradhanavaha Mamanthustarasa Sindhum Mamanthustarasa Sindhum Aviradhani Tato Bhavat. Shishaka Uvacha. Śrīmad Goswami said, Pite was drunk. Gare, when the poison. Vrasha Ankena, my Lord Shiva, who sits on a bull. Pritaha, being pleased. They, all of them. Amara, the demigods. Danavaha, and the demons. Mamanthu again began to churn. Tarasam, with great force. Sindhum, the ocean of milk. Havirdhani, the Surbi cow, who is the source of clarified butter. Tataha, from that churning, Abhavat was generated. Translation by His Divine Grace Srimad Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Śrīmad Goswami continued, upon Lord Shiva's drinking the poison, both the demigods and the demons, being very pleased, began to churn the ocean with renewed vigor. As a result of this, there appeared a cow known as Surabhi. Purport: the Surabhi cow is described as Havirdhani, the source of butter. Butter, when clarified by melting, produces ghee or clarified butter, which is inevitably necessary for performing great ritualistic sacrifices. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.5, Yajna dana tapa karma na tajate karyam eva tat. Sacrifice, charity and austerity are essential to keep human society perfect in peace and prosperity. Yajna, the performance of sacrifice, is essential. To perform yajna, clarified butter is absolutely necessary. And to get clarified butter, milk is necessary. Milk is produced when there are sufficient cows. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita 18.44, cow protection is recommended. Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam Vaishyad Karma Swabhavajam. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Tibrandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So this chapter is where, the inauspicious aspect, which was the halal, that has been taken care of. So, Amara Danva. So who's preached? The demigods and the demons. And here there is a hint given. Demigods are referred to as Amara. And what is the process they are involved in? Churning of the milk ocean to attain what?
Immortality.
Immortality, because it will produce nectar. And whoever drinks this nectar will become Amara. And now the demigods, they have not been referred to as Deva Danavaha. They are referred to in the shloka as Amara Danavaha. So Amara is the word used for demigods, assuring Parikshit Maharaj, because this is a conversation happening between Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. And he is telling that the Amara, those are the demigods. And then Danava, he is making distinction. They are not Amara. He is making a distinction as well. So here in this particular chapter, as for the continuous, after Lord Shiva, he has taken care of the poison. He has drank the poison. And we also covered that few drops fell down. So the poisonous herbs, the insects, and the snakes and so forth, the poisonous entities, they actually drank some of those poison, and that's why they became poisonous from that point onwards. Previous to that, they were envious and they would hurt others, but they were not poisonous, so poisonous in their nature. So this is what is also revealed. And as the first, after the churning of the ocean, now that there is no more clouds of poison, the demigods and demons, they felt rejuvenated energy, they felt enthusiasm. And with determined force, means they, with vigor, that's the word used, they started churning the ocean again. And of course, Vasuki is the rope, and Bandhana mountain is acting as a rod. It's made of gold, so it's very strong. And as they are churning, the first entity that comes out is Surbhika. And she is referred to as Havedhani, one who produces butter, clarified butter. And Srila Prabhupada reveals that butter is very necessary to perform sacrifices. And sacrifices, austerity and charity should never be given up. Again, Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita reveals, because it even purifies the pure source. So these three activities, it's not that, I have become highly elevated, I should, somebody can decide, okay, no more, engage in these activities. And of course, as one is, engaged in sacrifices, clarified butter is absolutely necessary. And for that, milk is necessary. And the source of milk is cow. And it's very interesting in this chapter, we are hearing about churning of the milk ocean. And as the churning is going on, the first who produces cow, and cow produces what? Milk. So from the ocean of milk, cow is coming. And sometimes when we talk, materialists, they really look at it from the perspective, they do not have the understanding that Lord can make anything happen. And so here, they say, wait a minute, from cow milk comes, are you saying that the churning of the ocean of milk, cow is being produced? It should be the other way. From the cow, the ocean of milk should appear. Well, this is Lord Krishna's pastime, Ajita's pastime. And this is exactly what happened. And this is all in the matter of faith, one's faith. We will also be touching that as part of the lesson today. So as Surbhika she appears, and the Tanvas, once again, Bali Maharaj, Irvala and others, the demons, Datyas, they are not much interested, and so the great sages, they take hold of the cow because they are going to perform sacrifice and they would need clarified butter, ghee. Not the regular butter, but after it has been, after you melt it, it becomes clarified butter, that's what is used. So they take hold of the cow. And then after the cow, again the journey continues, and the Chaishava horse appears from the journey of the Vishnu. And yes, it is the horse of Chaishava. And Bali Maharaj immediately can take hold of the horse. Now, remember that Lord Vishnu, he had given instruction to the demigods to be careful about three things. He already informed them that Kala Duga poison would appear, so do not fear. Because the first thing is something adverse happens, we run in fear. That's the tendency. So he said, do not fear. And then don't be anxious. Do not have anxiety. So when we are anxious, at that time chaos happens. We cannot think properly, we cannot act properly. So he's saying, don't be in anxiety. And then the third thing he said was, do not be greedy. There will be many wonderful things appearing. Do not be greedy. And in the Lila took it to his heart. So when the Chaishava horse came up, Bali Maharaj immediately took hold of Chaishava. He said, okay, I will have Chaishava horse. And then the journey continued. And after that, Airavat appeared. And Airavat is a, white elephant, Airavat, yes. With 4 tusks, so again 4. And when he appears, it defies the glory of Kailash mountain, the abode of Lord Shiva. He's so gigantic and appearing so magnanimous, so powerful. So now this is where the greed comes in. So previously, since Bali Maharaj has taken the horse, he cannot claim another one as his Vahan. So this is where not being greedy actually acts in favor of Indra. So he has to have Airavat. And along with Airavat and many she-elephants also appear. So there are 8 male elephants appear, headed by Airavat. And these elephants can go in any direction unrestricted. As if they can span their coverage in any direction in the universe without any restriction. And then she-elephants also appear because with the male elephants the progeny has to continue. So she-elephants, they are headed by Abramu. So Abramu is the leader she-elephant. So all these become part of the demigods section. So again, and now the churning of the ocean continues. And as the ocean is being churned, Kaustuba Muni that appears. And Lord Vishnu, he takes the Kaustuba Muni and takes it on his chest. So at that time, and nobody of course objects because as things are happening. And next appears Parijat flower, the tree, Parijat tree. And we have in Krishna's pastime wonderful story of how one Parijat flower caused another queen to feel like, oh, she has been neglected. And then she wanted a whole tree. That was Satyabhama. She wanted a whole tree, and Lord Krishna got the same Parijat tree from heavenly abodes, from Nandanandana garden down to Dwarka. And then, after the Parijat flowers appeared the Apsaras. So these are celestial ladies who appeared, who were very beautiful, and they became the residents of the heavenly planets. And as the churning is going on, everyone is, great vigor. Now things are appearing which are nice, wonderful things are appearing. Goddess Lakshmi appears, Rama Devi. And when she appears, everyone is, having that feeling like, oh, Goddess of Fortune has appeared. So Indra arranges for her seat, and various demigods, and there are various offerings being brought to her. And as various offerings are being brought to her, and who will she accept? That question is raised. At that time, Goddess Lakshmi, he starts looking at the various personalities who are gathered there, and she is saying that okay, this person is very powerful, but then he is not very dharmaparaya, or this person has this flaw, that person has this flaw. She is going from one person to another, and then she goes to Lord Vishnu holding Varmala. She says yes, he is all perfect. So she surrenders at his lotus feet and she garlands him. And so Lord Vishnu at that moment gives her place on his chest. So there is a white curl of hair that appears on Lord Vishnu's chest, and that is Shivatsa. So Vatsa is a chest, and she is referring to goddess of fortune, Ramadevi, goddess Lakshmi. Now, when this happens, the demons, the Daityas, they are very much disappointed because Ramadevi had completely neglected them. In the beginning of Churning of the ocean, they had actually expressed that our birth is glorious, our activities are glorious, and now here, there is goddess of fortune completely rejecting them and accepting Lord Vishnu. So they are really disheartened by this incident. So at that time, Churning goes on, but there is some commotion going on in the camp of the demons. So Varuni, the goddess of drinking, appears, and on Lord Vishnu's order, demons accept her. So they're very happy. So that's why you see demons have the tendency to be intoxicated heavily. Not just intoxicated by their own glories, but also intoxicated physically. And it's very interesting that people pay attention to this word, like, okay, intoxication. But what does it really mean? In is within, you're taking in, that's the direction. Toxic. So that which is not really acceptable, that which is poisonous. And there is also a warning that Srila Prabhupada in the previous chapter said that following Lord Shiva's example, many times people they take on to drinking ganja, marijuana and other toxic substances, saying that they are following Lord Shiva. Well, that is not the real following of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva took care of the bad qualities to help others. How does the drinking of ganja, marijuana and other toxic substances helping the society? Is not helping anyone. So again, that's complete mundane interpretation, speculation that's coming out. So we should be very careful of such mundane speculations. And here, as Varuni is the goddess of drinking. She has been taken over by the demons, and they are feeling rejuvenated energy, and again the chanting happens. And now there is a personality who appears. He is a partial planetary portion of Lord Krishna, and he has perfect body, so it's very described. He has beautiful form. He is bedecked with gold, very nicely, This is Dhanvantari, and in his hand there is a jar, and jar is of nectar, so the jar is containing nectar. And remember in the previous chapter when demons had observed, the Daityas had observed how Lord Vishnu alone could churn the ocean. So they were thinking that, okay, demigods have alliance with Lord Vishnu, so we have to be very careful. So as soon as Dhanvantari appears, demons immediately snatch away the pot of nectar and they run away with the pot of nectar. Saying this, Indra and other demigods, they are really disappointed and they approach Lord Vishnu. So what to be done? So Lord Vishnu smiles and he says, do not worry. With the material energy, the mind of the demons will be agitated. So they are holding nectar. And it's very interesting that the material energy disturbs them so much that they start discussing who is going to be the first one who will drink. So all the powerful ones would say, I will drink first, I will drink first. And the weaker demons, they were saying, wait a minute, we should distribute it equally, because they were thinking that all these powerful demons, they will drink and we will not get anything. And also we actually, decided to share this. with the demigods, hoping that when they will say demigods, they will have some mercy. The strong demons will have some mercy and give them a little bit of nectar to drink, to become immortal. So as this disturbance was, happening, and their minds were all disturbed, and they were snatching away the pot of nectar from one hand to another. At that time, Lord Vishnu appears in his Mohini incarnation. And that will continue in the next chapter. So in this particular chapter, it's very important to look at some of the lessons that we hear. And these lessons, we'll be looking from three different angles. First is with respect to devotional service. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is revealed, the science of devotional service is revealed there. Adha Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangho, Atha Bhajana Kriya, Tato Anartha Nivrati Syat, Tato Nishta Ruchis Tatha, Atha Shaktis Tato Bhavas, Tata Premabhyut Danchati, Sadhaka Nam Ayam Prema Pradurbhave Bhavet Pramaha. So here, Adav Shraddha. So once, devotional service starts with Shraddha. And now, it's very interesting, Srila Prabhupada in the translation says that one has a desire for self-realization. You can put faith in anything, but what is the real faith? True faith, one should put in. So this Shraddha is very specifically to, seeking one's self-realization. And what is one's self-realization is what's one's swarup, what is one's true identity. And Jivera Swarup Hoya Krishnera Nityadas, that's also revealed. So from that perspective, that we are, the true identity, Jivera Swarup, the true identity of a living entity, the constitutional position of a living entity is Krishnera Nityadas, an eternal servant of Lord Shri Krishna, to constantly seek giving pleasure to Lord Shri Krishna, to constantly be engaged in the devotional service to please the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is what Shraddha is revealed as. Adha Shraddha. So one in the beginning should have Shraddha. Now in Nectar of Devotion we have covered earlier that Shraddha also develops because of Agya Sukriti, unknowingly performing some pious activities. And then because of Shraddha, one engages in the company of devotees. Tata Sadhu Sango. So that is the next stage. Because one is desiring self-realization, one engages with, the sadhus. And Sango means their association. So association of the devotees, because they are already on that path. They already have realized their constitutional position. So for example, when you go to a shop, if you want to buy sugar, you want to go to a general store that has sugar, right? You won't go to a gold shop and say, give me sugar, because they don't have sugar. So that's why simply when you want, you have a desire for self-realization, you approach people who are self-realized. So this is where the next stage comes, Sadhu Sangha. And Tatha Bhajana Kriya. And when you are engaged in Sadhu Sangha, of course, you follow the process, you are made aware of the process, you are educated about the process, and you take shelter of a pure devotee, and you engage in the disciplic succession, and you are engaged in devotional service, Bhajana Kriya. So, Bhaja is more than what worship is. Bhaj is engaging in devotional service in different forms. And we have discussed the 9 processes of devotional service and so forth. So here, Bhajana Kriya is, one engages. And what is the effect of Bhajana Kriya? Bhajana Kriya is very much like the churning of the ocean. Like the demigods and demons, they are engaged in churning of the ocean of milk, Hare Krishna, and they are Shri Shri Gauratai Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai. Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. So just like churning of the ocean is, occurring, and as churning of the ocean is happening, the first thing that appears is the clouds of poison, halahal. Halahal is referring to the clouds of Kalakuta poisons, very dangerous poison. So similarly, when one is engaged in devotional service, the first stage that they transition over to is anartha nivrati. So all the anarthas, they disappear. So nivrati is getting rid of the anarthas. Tato anartha nivrati syat. So as all the anarthas are going on, and of course when you clean a room, right? Sometimes we have a room where there's a lot of dust and we say, okay, we should clean it up. And the moment you start cleaning the room, the first thing that appears is all this dust goes up in the air. And you feel intoxicated, and that's exactly what happened. The demigods and demons, they were disturbed. They felt, they felt, they couldn't breathe properly. And they felt it very hard. They felt suffocated. So here, the first thing that happens is as you are engaged in bhajan kriya, all these anarthas, you come to know of all these anarthas within you. And all these anarthas you give away, means again, you get rid of those anarthas. And now once, just like the poison is taken away by Lord Shiva, all the wonderful things appear. So similarly in devotion, in the science of devotion service, it's revealed wonderful things appear. The first is tato nishtha, and then ruchis tatha. Nishtha is, first you had desire for self-realization, that's Shraddha. Now here you are engaged in, self-realization. So you have more firm conviction in seeking self-realization. So Nishtha is stronger Shraddha. So you started with Shraddha, that's what you brought, but now you have come to a level where you have a stronger determination. You have a strong foundation for that self-realization. And Ruchi. Ruchi has to do more with Shravanam. So you have more desire to hear about Lord Shri Krishna. To more, you are attracted. Lord Krishna, he is known as Madan Mohan, right? Because he can even attract the Madan, he is the Cupid. So he's attractor of Cupid. What to talk about living entities? Of course, we feel attracted. The Ruchi happens. Ruchi is also seeking interest. Our interest grows in reading the scriptures, in engaging in different services, in chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And we seek to improve the quality of our chanting every day. So that's the Ruchi state. And as Ruchi is increasing, Atha Sakti Tato Bhavas. Atha Sakti. So, Atha Asakti. So our Asakti, taking shelter of his lotus feet, we grow stronger. And as we grow stronger, Bhav appears. It's the preliminary symptom of Krishna Prem. The preliminary symptom of the love of Godhead. So it's the preliminary stage that we come to. Bhav is very much, it's in the feelings. That we ourselves want to care for the Lord. We ourselves want to please the Lord. And when we engage in our activities seeking to please the Lord, the final stage that we were seeking, Prem appears. Just like in the churning of the ocean, Dhanvantari, he appears with the ocean of, or the nectar. So similarly, Prem appears. And Sadhakanam ayam premanaha pradurbhave bhavet kramaha. And in the stage of prema, one is constantly engaged in serving the Lord with love. Constantly seeking to only pleasure the Lord. And he is literally taking, iti dik swalila bhirananda kunde. He is constantly taking dips in the ocean of bliss. Again and again and again. And his bliss continuously increases. Navinanam. It is constantly rejuvenating. So that is what one experiences when one is established in one's real position. Now this is the science of devotional service. Now let's look at it from the very basis of devotional service. We talked about when one comes in the association of devotees. So when one comes in the association of devotees, there are also various symptoms that happen. One gets engaged, and of course the Yuga Dharma for this age is chanting of the holy name. In Bhagavad Gita, however, if you look at it, chanting of the holy name is universal, means it doesn't really restrict within this particular yuga, Lord Krishna says, Yajna Nam, of all the yagyas, Nam, holy name, chanting of the holy name is my, is the best. So again, I am the chanting of the holy name, and that's the topmost sacrifice. So here, chanting of the holy name is glorified, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shiksha Ashtika, the very first verse, he reveals the blessings we get from engaging in chanting of the holy name. Cheto darpanamajadam bhav maha davagni nirvapadam shayah kairav chandrika vitarnam vidya vadhu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam sarvatma swapnam param vrijayate Shri Krishna sankirtanam. So, Cheto Darpa Majanam. It's very interesting that the mirror of our heart has dust layered on it for many, many, lives, not just this lifetime. We have forgotten our true identity. And so when we are not seeking our true identity, we are engaged in sense gratification, engaged with this material energy, under the control of material energy, the dust has accumulated. So, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Marjanam is cleansing. So, the cleansing of the mirror of heart happens. Right? So, when you clean a mirror of heart, what happens? First is a lot of dust appears again. Lot of dirt that appears, which is also disturbing, that we are realizing. But as the dirt goes away, just like, when the halahal wish appeared, the poison, and Lord Shiva took away that, now all the things that appear during the chanting of the ocean, like starting from Surbhi cow, Airavat, Parijat flower, Kaustuba Mani, goddess of fortune, Rama Devi, Varuni, and then the nectar. So similarly, here once the mirror of the heart is clean, and when you look in the mirror, you can see yourself very clean, right? There's actually a story of a man, he used to always criticize his neighbor. He used to say, neighbor, his curtains are always dirty. Why doesn't he clean those curtains? He was looking out of his window. He's like, I don't feel like opening the windows. It's such a bad sight. And he used to criticize, with his friends, whoever would visit him, that I'm really upset that my neighbor, his window is so, his curtains are so dirty, he doesn't wash them. And sometimes he would even call and say, why don't you wash your curtains? So one day his neighbor comes and he says, you should look out now. He says, okay. He looks out. It's all very clean. It's like, wow. Well, finally you heard. He said, yes, finally I heard you. And I cleaned your windows. Get it? It was the windows that were clean, the glass. So, Cheto Darpana Majanam. So you cannot see clearly in the mirror if the mirror is dirty. But when you see in the mirror, then you come to know of your qualities that you were not aware of. And these qualities are blissful, because now you realize how much bliss you can derive by serving the Supreme Lord by the qualities that He has been, you have been gifted with. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Paranam Nishu. So again, I am the ability in man. So there are abilities that have been provided to the living entities. And so those are revealed. And that's just like, so all the dust goes away. Bhav Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. So the chanting of the holy name can stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. Now it's very interesting that if there is fire, and especially in the forest we have seen, they try to pour water, right? And the first thing that appears is like, okay, the fire is going down, but a lot of smoke is appearing, all the water vapors and so forth. That's also happening. So there are always side effects happening as part of this. But then, the material desires, the agitation that we experience because of the senses, that goes away. We are completely at peace. We are calmed down. We come to the state of Shanta, And then, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental bliss. Just like we heard about how the different type of elephants, they appeared, starting from Aravat, and they could go in any direction. Similarly, our bliss increases. Means again, imagine this ocean, it's increasing in its volume. Understanding the lake is interesting, but then this is the ocean expanding. So you already have too much and you get much more than you can contain. That has been revealed. And this is referred to the happiness, the bliss, the transcendental joy that one experiences. And then Sheva Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, that the chanting of the holy name is the waxing moon. Waxing is the increasing size of the moon. Waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. So again, when Kaustubha appeared, Lord immediately, took that Kaustubha and it's situated on his chest, and it appeared like a moon because Lord's, complexion is dark, right? Like the dark clouds, rainy clouds. So in there, the Kaustubha appears, it glows just like a waxing moon. So similarly, the chanting of the holy name is like the waxing moon, and in that, our devotional service, just like the white lotus spreads, the bloom in that moonlight. Similarly, our true identity, we would bloom, means again as living entities. And the good fortune of all living entities, it spreads. So, Sarvatma Snapnam, it gives the cooling effect to everyone. So, again, you can look at the contrast. Think of yourself, in desert under a scorching sun. Now, from that particular perspective, you would appreciate the cooling effect of, moonlight. So, from that contrast, we actually transition to that state. Vidya Vadu Jivanam, it is the life and soul of all education. Because, basically in material world, we actually go to college so that we get good job. That's the basis of our education. So that's what we are doing for our bodies. But what are we doing for our soul? That is being stressed here. So again, from that particular perspective, we should take lesson that here, the essence of all education is to be able to situate yourself in your rightful position, your constitutional position. And this is what is granted by chanting of the holy name. Because chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Actually, it is a prayer. It is a prayer to the Lordship, O Mother Radha, this, supreme potency of the Lord. O Lord Shri Krishna, please engage me in your service. That's the meaning of this, prayer of the holy name, chanting of the holy name. So, the life and soul of all education. So that's what we are seeking. So that finally the result of education is to have the occupation. And we want to be occupied in devotional service. And Pratipadam Purna Amrita Swadanam enables one to taste full nectar at every step. So that is, again, the effect of chanting of the holy name. That we are tasting the nectar. So here, after the churning of the ocean, the nectar appeared and demons have snatched it away. And the demigods are, disappointed. And they're approaching Lord Vishnu to please help them. But then, with the chanting of the holy name, we become transcendental to all the material conditions so that we can continuously taste the nectar of the devotional service, engagement in devotional service. So that is the lesson we should take from today. And of course, there are other association-related examples. Where in devotee association, even in Srila Prabhupada's times, it was very common that devotees would come with, complaints about other devotees, and they say, this person is doing this, that person is doing that. Srila Prabhupada gave a very simple example. In a kitchen where there is a lot of, preparations are being done, the utensils will, create some clutter and there will be noise. So your love for me will be revealed how you cooperate with each other. He actually gave that instructions to his disciples and the devotees. So this is how we should put apart our ego, because that is like, sometimes in the false ego perspective, with our pride and our position and our different activities, we may be thinking we are important, but then let's put that apart and seek as how we can serve the mission, how we can serve Lord Krishna, how we can be engaged in the devotion service, and always give pleasure to Lord, because by giving pleasure, as we have discussed today, we will derive that calmness, that moonlight effulgence where we can bloom, the devotion service can bloom of the living entity, and we can be in blissful state. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Gantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Kauri Vaishnavind ki jai, Go Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai.
Devotee association is an individual species. It is, yeah. Now that's very true.
Shri Shri Radha ki
The
jai.
reason I agree with you is because as soon as you become a devotee, you engage in the service, so you